to another video. I thought since we're at mid-December, I'd better do a year in review. So this year was full of a bit of change, quite a lot of change I suppose, a bit of a wobble, and just sort of re-evaluating what I want to focus on. So I thought I would do a rundown month by month, what went on, and kind of like what my thoughts were at the time. And then next week I'm going to film a 2023 goals. So we'll reflect on this year now, and then with that I'm going to sort of work out what I want to be doing next year. So in January 2022, I just wanted to carry on plodding on with what I've been doing. We'd just done our first group exhibition with my fashion and textiles collective in late 2021. So I just wanted to like sort of see where the brand was going. That was the first time I'd made like proper art pieces for the brand. So I wanted to just see where we're going. But I did majorly start advertising and promoting my creative consultancy for like one-to-ones with new business owners, because I really wanted to do more of that. I did do more of that, not as much as I would have liked. For those of you that don't know, my one-to-one service is literally just that, meeting with new business owners to help them focus on what they want to focus on, share my advice. And by no means am I the definitive expert, but I've been self-employed as a creative for 8 years now. So I wanted to share some of the stuff that I found helpful, because when you're starting out it's really hard. Anyway, that's a separate thing. So I really started promoting that more. Also in January, I did my tax return for the year 2020 to 2021. So the tax year ends in April 2021, and then you have till January till the end of January to submit it, and that year I'd left it right till January. So I had to do it, and we'll get to it in a minute, but then I did my 21 to 22 one in September. So I did 2 tax returns this year. Then in February, not a lot happened to be honest, but I did get into the Ferrans, which is our local art gallery, their open exhibition. So I had a piece in there and it sold, and after they took their fees, I got £70. It was only a small piece. Here's a picture. Me looking quite nerdy next to my artwork. So I'm going to enter again when it comes around. They've done it on a different time scale this time. So normally they'd open the applications in the November, and the exhibition would open early spring. But this year they don't seem to be doing that. The applications aren't opening while after Christmas. Don't know. Then in March, I had a wobble. I had a wobble that I wasn't planning on having. Is anyone ever planning on having a wobble? Don't know, but I wasn't. So I work part-time as an exam invigilator. If you've seen a couple of my other videos, you may know this. Anyway, that school had a vacancy coming up and they asked me to apply, but it was full-time. But it was somewhat creative. Not a lot, but somewhat. So I thought, should I apply? So I thought, do you know what, it might be good. Maybe it'll be good. Because also, me and my partner Sean were looking to buy a house this year. So I thought, this could really get us there. This would really look good if I got a full-time job. Like, we'd have absolutely no problems. So I applied for that job. They didn't offer me it, even though they asked me to apply. So that was fine. But do you know what? I wasn't that bothered. I was a bit bothered that they'd asked me to apply and didn't get it. But I wasn't bothered about getting it, because I don't think it's really what I wanted to do, and I don't think I would have enjoyed it. I think I dodged a bullet there, really. I nearly sold myself out to the corporate world. But, guys, I'm still here. What else happened in March? I did one of my favourite commissions this year. I'm not going to share all the commissions I've done this year. I'm just going to share a few highlights. So, in March, I finished a commission for the director of the local Samaritans branch. Samaritans, the mental health charity. You probably know them. So, he was stepping down from his post. I think they can only do it for so many years or something, and then they have to give it to someone else. So his fellow volunteers commissioned a piece. Here it is. I really liked it. They asked me to do the little green hand embroidery on the sign, just as a little extra touch, which I thought was really cute. So yeah, that was a nice one. Then in April, not much happened to be honest, but I did get new packaging from No Issue, and I did a review about this. I did a whole video review, so you can watch that and you can tell me what you think. But yeah, I got all that packaging and I got that video filmed. So that was it really for April, just plodding along. Actually, I tell a lie, in April I was prepping for a new project, because in May, like the 2nd of May, I did York Fashion Week. I say I did, that makes it sound like I ran it or I was a model. Me and Zach from the studio, he's one of the members of the Fashion and Textiles Collective, we collaborated on a shirt. He made the shirt because he's wonderful at doing such things. I could never, ever get close. And I made an embroidered panel for it. Here it is. And we sent it down the runway at York Fashion Week. We'd been in talks with York Fashion Week since January, getting our slot for the show, like ironed out and stuff. And a bunch of other people from the collective brought some stuff as well. Here's it down the runway, the garment we made. So hopefully, then actually I've just been to Zach's wedding in November, and one of his family members said, please collaborate again because that was so good. So I was like, yeah, next year we'll do it. So maybe more on that front. Also in May, I closed my old business forever. You may know, when I first started this channel, I was running 2 businesses. I was running, contrary to reason, the textile brand, which is what I do now. But I was also running Peach Panda Studio, which is my illustration brand. And I used to illustrate stationery and small home accessories, things like that. And I'd run that since 2017 when I was at uni as like an income, because I didn't take any student finance. I had a part-time job, but it was 1 day a week. So yeah, for extra income, I started that business, and I just felt by May this year that I'd really outgrown it. Well, I'd been planning to close it for a lot longer, but I thought the 1st of May, it's the business's 5-year birthday. Now's the time. I've outgrown it. It's a shame because every now and then, even now, I'll still have the odd idea like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. But in reality, I wouldn't have done, because it just wasn't there for me anymore. Like, I couldn't get into it. I'd outgrown it. So yeah, closed forever on the 1st of May. In June, I began teaching for Feral Art School, which was a big goal of mine this year, to start teaching more. Really, I thought doing workshops and talks, but Feral needed a textiles teacher for their evening courses. So I thought, perfect. So I approached them and said, I'm available. And they said, great, that's good, we need someone. So yeah, I got my first teaching gig, which was good. And the first course that I did was a 6-week textiles evening course. Absolutely loved it. So I'm still teaching for them now. If you are local to me, the next round of courses goes live. Well, it is live now, but it starts mid-January. So maybe have a look. Also in June, the big thing, we moved house. So in March, I was having that wobble that I needed a full-time job to buy a house. I didn't. Luckily, Sean's got a really good steady job, so that looks good for us. I'm just really good at saving. I may not look good on paper, but in practice, I'm good at saving, guys. I love saving. I find it so satisfying. So it was definitely a team effort on that one. He looked good on paper, but I was good in practice. So it all came together. The mortgage man said, yeah, if you're going to do it though, do it now. And was he right? If you don't live in the UK, you might not get it. I don't know what the property market is like overseas, but in this country, the property market went south in about October. So we finalised on this house in June, and we moved in mid-June. And if you go back to my previous videos, you will see a little video about what we plan to do with the house, what my office plans are, because this will not be my office forever, this is temporary. So yeah, go check that video out. It's called Why Is My Home Studio So Ugly? Exhibit A. Then in July, nothing new really happened, but I was still teaching the textiles course because it was a 6-weekly course, and we was just sort of like getting to grips with the new house, moving in, organising stuff. And it was also my birthday at the end of July. So yeah, just kind of taking things easy and just plodding along with what we already had going. Then in August, I realised I'd have a bit of a break to move in, but I needed to get focused again, and I needed to get focused for the rest of the year, try and hit some goals. So I started the 160-day challenge. Also a video on that, by the way. I feel like this is just one big advert for me to tell you to go watch my previous videos. But I mean, please do. Even better, subscribe. So I started the 160-day challenge because I thought by the start of the next tax year, I want to be seeing a difference in how the business is ramping up. So between now and then, there was roughly 160 working days. So I thought, great, that's what it's called, so catchy. So basically, I just try and do one positive thing for the business each working day. I filled a couple, not too many. But yeah, it's going well. It just makes me more conscious of like what I'm doing, because it's so easy for time to pass by and realise you've just sort of neglected it. Like if you've not particularly got any commissions on or anything, like really that's prime time to be doing some of the bigger stuff and like setting things in motion for other things. But it's just so easy to not, especially when you've got other part-time jobs to juggle. So I thought, no, I need to focus. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm not sure what day we're up to now. I think we're in the 80s. I think we're up to day 80. So we're about halfway, which is really exciting. And I'm going to do, when it's finished, I'll do a follow-up on that. Also, in August, we went on holiday for a week to Greece. So not a lot got done. And also the temperatures were horrible. Like not just in Greece, but at home. So it's not really working weather. Then in September, I did my tax return. My next one for 21-22, so from April 2021 to April 2022, did that tax return, and I paid a tax bill for the first time. Well, let's say that sounds like I've never paid tax. I've never paid tax in the business because I've never earned enough in the business. I've paid tax in other jobs because I've always had part-time jobs and the business. So HMRC have decided to take the tax from those other jobs that I obviously earn. But this year they were like, oh, actually you've earned quite a bit, so we'll need to take tax from this business as well now. So I was like, how exciting! Like some people would be like, that's gross. Everyone's trying to like figure out how they can reduce their tax bill. But I was like, isn't this great? I'm professional now. So yeah, that's what I did. Then in October, I did my first ever market as this business. I've done loads of markets before with the previous business. Always quite enjoyed them. It's just good to get out and speak to people and try to like get the vibe in person of what they think of what you're doing. And often they have feedback, welcome or unwelcome, they have it. So I thought I could do to really get a market under my belt with the textiles brand. So we had a localish market. It was in like a neighbouring village. It's like market research essentially. Sense the vibe, get some feedback. Will this brand do well at craft fairs? Not all things will. Not all businesses will do well at craft fairs and markets and stuff. So I thought I'll test it. So I tested it. It was all right, to be fair. It was not bad considering it was like the beginning of October, so a bit early for Christmas shopping. Some people obviously start by then, but not everybody, not many. So yeah, considering it was just like random time of the year, it did all right. Here's a picture of my stall. So I was also working on the stall setup. Like I'd never set up a stall with this before. It's a bit different to like the illustration stuff. You need a bit more space. So yeah, it was really interesting. It was a good learning curve. And then I did another one moving into November. I did another one in November in a different location. It was actually a city centre location. And that was all right. It was kind of slow. Well, it felt slow because it was really busy in the morning, and then in the afternoon it was really quiet. So those hours in the afternoon were long. But that is when I decided markets, probably not the thing for me. Probably not. Because I sell like art pieces. People don't go to a market like in town and walk away with an art piece. It's more of an investment. Like these are not impulse purchases what I'm selling. I had the odd bits and bobs that were like market-y and people buying those. but that's not really like the mainstay of my brand. So I think going forward, markets not for me or the brand unless they're really niche. Like I saw like Manchester Art Fair is a huge like art convention, like a trade show basically, maybe something more like that. But I think general markets, probably not. It's not worth sitting there in the cold all day. But it was good market research. I'm glad I did it. Now I know. Also in November, I started selling marbling kits for the first time because I did my first ever one-off workshop, which, to say this was a goal for 2022, I don't know why it took me to the end of November to get it done. But I did. I hosted my first ever one-off workshop, which was really good, and I just think they're a great way, to be honest, of generating income as an artist. Because of this first one I've done, I've not made that much of a profit because I had to buy all the equipment for everybody. Obviously I had some equipment, but I didn't have enough equipment for 10 people. So I had to buy new stuff, etc. But the next one I do will be way better profit margin because I already have all the gear. I don't need to buy new inks every time. They've still got plenty in them, etc. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Here's a picture of the things people made. It's just so good to watch people get the satisfaction from something that you've taught them. I just loved it. So yeah, hopefully more of those in 2022 and maybe some different things. Like that was marbling obviously, but I'm gonna have a think about what else I can teach. In December I reactivated my old Etsy because I had Etsy for my illustration brand. So I reactivated it to sort of list the marbling kits and list some other bits and bobs like embroidery scissors, stuff like that I have. I just thought, I don't really like Etsy that much. It has its flaws, but also it just ticks along on its own. So I thought, just to generate some income, like without really trying too hard, just to have things listed on there that people will find organically without me having to like shout about it on social media all the time. So yeah, obviously you need to have good search engine optimization for that to work, but I'm experienced in Etsy, so it was quite easy, and I sold a few kits there before I closed it last week. So yeah, that's a success. So it's on, the shop's on holiday right now because postage issues. I don't want to ship anything now because it won't turn up in time, but that'll be going live again in the new year, so happy days. I also did a really great commission this month. Here it is. It's for my friend Zach, who I mentioned we collaborated for York Fashion Week. He moved out of his old flat this year into a lovely house, but this window stained glass was in his old flat, so him and his partner wanted something to remember it by, so they asked me to make this piece, and I loved it, but I put it off for months. I was so scared to do it because I didn't want to mess it up. It's so gorgeous, and it was like a new concept to me because I thought, how am I going to get the colour in there? Because I'd work in black embroidery, and I thought if I use coloured thread, I don't think it'll be the same. It'll be so faffy and there'll just be thread everywhere. So I decided to do watercolour as the background. So I did the stitching and then I just did little hints of like a washed out watercolour, and that's the effect I got, and it just looks great and they're happy with it and I'm happy with it. So yeah, that was a standout commission for me this year. Also this year, the last half of the year, my YouTube has really been going off because I've been consistent with posting. Who knew that was good for you? So I've been posting basically every Monday for a couple of months now, and it's really paying off subscriber wise, and I'm so close. As I film this, I've got 91 subscribers. If I could get 100 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll be buzzing, because I have this little chart that I made next to my desk. This time 19th of November last year, I had 40 subscribers. By the 1st of June this year, 2022, I had 50. So it took me over 6 months to get another 10. And then I was getting another 10 like this, 24th of October, 18th of November, 25th of November, 7th of December. That's I was getting another 10 on those dates, by those dates. So yeah, so I hit 90 on the 7th of December. So I just need 10 more before Christmas, guys. Because I'm feeling excited about YouTube next year, and I'd, to be honest, love to be monetized on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would be great because I love making video content anyway. I love sharing what I'm doing with you guys. So if I could get paid for it, that would be so good, because currently I'm taking this time out of my week to film videos and I'm not getting reimbursed for it. Like, yeah, it's promotion and it's advertising, but how much return am I really getting from that? If I was actually being paid to make the content, I would love it. But if you didn't know, that you need 1,000 subscribers and so many watch hours. So to mark this sort of desire to do well on YouTube, I decided to invest in that, and I commissioned this artist who's very good at animation to make me a new YouTube intro and outro. She's so good. Her name's Stephanie. I'll put her details in the description. She's done loads of YouTube intros. When I was doing my illustration business, I used to follow her, and I used to think, if I ever start a YouTube, I am coming to you. And now I have. So she's done it and it looks so good. But I'm debuting it for my first video of 2023. So you'll have to subscribe to see it. But I'm so pleased with it. So pleased. So yeah, it's simple but effective. So yeah, I'm chuffed. And that is basically my year. How quick did that go? Like I say, it was like eventful because I bought a house and we moved in. But also, business-wise, we just sort of ticked along. There was a few milestones here and there, but nothing too major this year. But do you know what? After the last 2 years of pandemic, I will take that. That is fine. Next year, I maybe want to be a bit more focused now that we're more settled in the house. Although there is going to be a lot of upheaval with renovation and everything. So I guess we'll see how it goes. But join me again in a couple of weeks after Christmas for my 2023 goals video, and we'll see what we can get planned. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please drop a comment how your year was, especially if you're a creative business. Yeah, probably everything that I've mentioned that you want to ask me is in the description. If it's not, comment. Thanks guys, see you later.